Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Salisbury City Council work session of October 17th, 2022. We have several items on the agenda today, and we will begin with Building Official William Holland, West Road, Dia Patel Properties. Bill, how are you?
Doing well, thank you. Recently, the Department of Infrastructure and Development received a petition for annexation for 900-904 West Road. These properties are contiguous to the city corporate line, which runs parallel with these properties. This request contained a concept development plan, which includes development of a 3-story apartment building, which would include parking, landscaping, and approved stormwater management. The next procedure would be getting the council's request to allow me to move this forward, and then would be taken to the Planning Commission to get the property rezoned. It's currently zoned C2 General Commercial in the county, and they're requesting to be zoned R8A, which would allow for multifamily dwellings.
Okay. Questions from the council?
I'm looking at this map. 909, is it 900 through 904? Or
Yes.
900, yeah.
900, 902, 904.
Is that where the Campbell Soup Building is in that area, or
It's a what?
Campbell Soup Building?
Oh, no, this is further down past Booth Street.
Okay,
Go through the intersection. It's maybe another street past Booth Street.
another street past
Yeah, it's another little street, yeah.
Cornish?
It's possibly that could be.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I'm trying to, I've looked at it, but I didn't really actually.
And this is contiguous, as it says in the,
Yes, it is.
okay.
It is Cornish Street. I have a,
Cornish Street, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
We have consensus to move this forward?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Bill.
All right.
Appreciate it.
good day.
Ms. Nichols, we can move it forward. Thank you, Brock. Next up, we have Janet Potvin, who is going to talk about a budget amendment. Janet, how are you?
Well, thank you. Yes, so about a year ago, we had a vehicle that was involved in an accident. It has since been surplused, and we have received $14,150 from Legit for insurance. What I'm asking tonight is for that money to be allocated back to field ops and put in our capital account where we have monies made available to purchase a new Ford F-150. We actually have 2 this year, one for parks and one for streets, and these funds would be used to help upfit those. When we made our initial request with procurement to purchase the F-250s, we were trying to use a contract out of Delaware, I believe, and that contract since expired, and they said we were not going to fulfill any vehicles out of that, so procurement's looking for another one. But what we found was even the prices in that contract, we would not be able to purchase the snow plows and some other equipment that we had hoped to purchase with the F-250. So what we're asking is for these insurance funds to be made available to us to use up to the extent possible.
Questions or comments from the council?
No.
I just have a housekeeping one, and I can't, in my memory, I remember the accident. I remember we did have a budget amendment. Was that budget amendment to transfer money from another section in ops, or was it out of the general fund? Did anybody remember that?
There was during the budget session, we were not able to purchase F-150s last fiscal year. So what I requested was that those monies made available from last year be carried forward this year. But I don't recall doing a budget transfer this year or budget amendment for the purchase of buying a vehicle or upfitting a vehicle.
I don't know, but just for future purposes, if we make a budget amendment to get funds from the general fund to, which may not have been in the original budget for them, and we get returns from Legit, should that not go into the general fund? It's just a question that you can ask for, just saying, because if you have a budget and you get the money from the general fund, then essentially you're getting money that you've already been allocated. You follow me? It's like double dipping.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah.
So I would just for future reference, check that, because I think it probably should go back into wherever it came from.
In this case, the funds would be coming from the insurance proceeds revenue account, specifically where the legit funds got deposited.
Right, but my
Right.
point is, though, that
No, I'm just-
if it, you understand? what I'm
Understood
saying?
exactly what you're saying,
Okay.
yes.
Okay,
Go back to.
okay,
And then
fine.
back.
We'll move that forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jana. Next up, we have a budget amendment to appropriate funds to upfit the 10 vehicles we purchased. Chief Duncan, I see you're on the, good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, council, everyone in attendance. So this request before you today is to transfer $243,000 from our forfeited funds account over into the vehicle purchase account so that we can use that funding to outfit 10 of our police vehicles. So we're talking about lighting, electronics, wiring, cameras, so forth, that we are requesting to use that money for.
Questions or comments from the council?
None.
I don't think we'd be too successful with driving around blue and white units with nothing in it. And I think that it's,
It wouldn't even be blue.
is this cheaper than we paid the last time?
You know, I'm not sure. I can find out for you for certain.
No, it's not important, but I just, it seems I seem to recall that it was more expensive than this, so. That's good if it is.
You get a discount for bulk purchasing.
Maybe. I will check into that. It's worth checking out.
Okay.
Should get one for.
Mr. Boat, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were there. So,
I'm lurking.
do you have any questions or comments? The man of many hats.
Mr. Walmart.
All right, we'll move that forward then. Thank you, Chief.
Sure, I've got one more for you.
Yep.
This next one is a request to accept grant funding for a mobile fingerprinting kit. We'd gotten one years ago, and we are no longer able to get the software updates for the equipment, so it's useless for us right now. And we recently applied for a grant through the Governor's Office of Crime Control, Prevention, Youth and Victim Services in order to purchase a new one. This new one is going to cost $5,728. And the Governor's Office of Crime Control and Prevention has granted us this money so that we can go ahead and make this purchase. I can tell you that we use this quite frequently at a number of community events. And it is it's a well sought after tool, and definitely would benefit our community if we were able to get this up and running once again.
Questions or comments from the council?
None.
Mr. Boda? I can remember that when we had the open house at Prince Street School, they had the unit there, and there was a line that must have had 50 parents standing in it to get their kids fingerprinted, which I thought was a great thing.
Yeah,
And,
it is a great thing.
and it certainly can help in case, God forbid, one of the kids gets abducted.
Chief, how long had you had this one?
The one prior to the one we're applying for?
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know, 7 years or so?
Okay, 7 years.
No.
That's good.
So we have consensus?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll move that forward. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you so much.
Next, Infrastructure and Development Director Rick Baldwin will come up, and if you want to bring your guest and introduce her too. It's the first time. Yep. We're going to talk about the budget amendment to reallocate funds for the Paleo 3 project.
Council President, member of the council, glad to be here tonight. Also pleased that Jennifer Lind is here with me this evening coming in. She certainly had the chance to say hello to the president, to Ms. Jackson, Ms. Gregory. Ms. Blake, we're sorry that we missed you this evening. The first item that we have for you is a budget amendment for Paleo Well 3. We've recently reinitiated construction of that facility. The council had approved a contract for that work at $2.2 million. In order to reinitiate that work in an expedient manner, a contract was awarded for $1,847,000 pending moving some of the funds from various other projects to completely fund that contract. So request tonight is the $404,000 to fill in the difference between the amount approved and the amount we had available to award at the time.
Okay, questions from the council?
One, is some of this money cleaning up some bond money that was out there?
It's cleaning up, yes, it's mostly taking money from projects that were completed with monies
Money
remaining
left over.
in those project accounts. So thankfully, those projects did come in under the budgeted amount, and those are primarily the funds being used to fulfill this contract.
What's the, well, this is a loaded question. What is the outlook for timing on this project?
Harper's and Sons, the contractor we've assigned this to, has been diligent in their mobilization. All of their submittals are essentially nearly complete. They've provided 3 requests for information on engineering details and clarifications. They've been responded to. So their next step, because this is the reinitiation of a contract that had a lot of materials purchased by the prior contractor, they'll be in the next week or so when they can get a hold of a container to inventory that and move it across to their facility,
Oh, good.
with construction expecting to start in mid-November.
Yeah.
I have a question, Jack. You know, it may sound crazy to you, but it's not to me.
No.
Yeah. $404,000 do we have that money to do this project? Is my question.
So there was a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 projects by infrastructure and development that were completed under budget.
I've got that part.
That's where,
So this is where the 404 is coming from?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yep.
You're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
No new money.
That's all I wanted to know. Did we have to come up with anything else?
It's much more fun to come
Yeah.
and have questions.
It's also nice when you have some of the raw materials ready to go.
Yeah.
That was my big concern, that we'd have to start from ground zero, and the way things are right now, who knows? But that's good. That's
Yeah,
very good.
I did hear you say that some of the projects that had money left over, but I wasn't for sure if it was still enough to cover this project. I never added it up, so I wouldn't know. So,
Okay,
wonderful.
we okay with moving this forward? Mr. Boda? Yes, Mr. Boda's nodding. Okay. Ms. Nichols will get that on the agenda. And you have another item?
The second item tonight is for the Zoo Administration Building, which is in place If you haven't seen it, it's in place and it's raised up to be about eye level. We had to do that because it's down in the floodplain, and the process of taking it from being down near ground level up to a higher level turned out to be a fairly expensive endeavor. Primarily, well, the council had previously awarded a total of $204,000 in funding for this project, but to bring it into completion at the elevated level where it's sitting, we are requesting an additional $54,000 in funding.
Questions or comments? I have one. In the scoping out of the project, did we not know that it was in the floodplain?
We did know that it was in the floodplain. When we presented that back to the project engineer that they needed to elevate it, they had thought that the additional, or that the foundation was strictly the responsibility of the bidder. Their contract was explicit that they did not have the geotechnical work in there, the dewatering which was needed for the site, or a responsibility to do a foundation that was any more than to dry stack masonry blocks that the unit would be set on. So the reason why this became so expensive was the additional geotechnical work, dewatering the soils around the site so we could put foundations, footers down 30 inches, and then go up a total of 54 inches with reinforced concrete.
So it's all, basically, it's already in place.
It's in place.
Any other questions or comments? I will tell you that it's a beautiful unit, and I don't get concerned walking in and having my foot go through the floor like it was in the old one, which happened twice. And believe me, the staff really appreciates it.
We'd like to get them in as quickly as possible.
Yes,
Well,
they're
they deserve it.
chomping at the bit, I would say. So, all right, we have consensus to move it then.
Yes.
Okay,
President,
thank you.
thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, that concludes the items that are on the agenda, and we'll open the floor to administration now for comments. Mr. Mayor, good to see you.
Good to see you too. So the only thing that I'll mention is that we have a number of projects that are underway right now that will include some ribbon cuttings. And once we get them to completion, that includes Ann Street Village, that includes the Evo mural, and that includes the groundbreaking on Truett Street. And the Waterside Park project. So we want to get all those on your calendars. The first one I think that's coming up is this week. Let me just pull up my calendar. The first one that's coming up is this week, and that is Wednesday at 4 p.m., and that's at Evo. So mark your calendars, come on out. Not only will there be the public art piece of it that the city has contributed funds to, but then Evo has an expansion that they started during the pandemic, and then they've got an expanded area with a bar and outdoor dining area, and bathrooms, which was a big point of contention for our permitting staff. I mean, that was a challenge, but we got there working with them creatively to solve the need for additional restroom facilities. So encourage everybody to come out for that, and we'll get those other dates on your calendar as well. Okay.
Mr. Boda?
I'll be at the Evo thing for sure.
I knew you would. No, he's not. He's at work. Okay. Ms. Jackson?
Julia, I think, had.
Sorry, we do have one other thing. This Saturday, mark your calendars for the 150th anniversary celebrations, including a parade for the Salisbury Fire Department. So if you can be there, that'd be great. Please mark those calendars. I'm sorry?
They start down here?
I think it starts downtown. It goes downtown, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
The parade. Okay. Ms. Jackson?
Sorry.
I don't have too much to say today, other than my date has changed for the senior Christmas gift dinner and gift giveaway, and that's the 10th of December instead of the 17th of December. Just want to be mindful to, as I will always reiterate about the scooters, I will not stop until it stops. Parents, please be responsible for your kids. I see kids on these scooters that are getting younger and younger every day. And I have seen our Salisbury Police Department speak to some of the kids in reference to the scooters. I've seen them actually taking some, and I want them to continue to do what they're doing, but I want the parents to be a little bit more responsible, or whoever is getting these scooters for these children. I just don't want to see a tragedy. Thank you.
Thank you. Angela?
Ditto with the scooters, for sure. Just basically, if you're healthy enough, please donate blood. We continue to be at extremely low levels, very dangerous levels for blood. So by all means, donate blood.
Thank you. I was going to mention the 150th anniversary of the fire department, and I am truly sorry that I'm not going to be able to attend because I'm going to be out of state on family business. But I want to congratulate them on this momentous occasion. It's fantastic, 150 years. Other than that, I think that concludes all of our remarks. And we
Michelle
are,
didn't get to say anything.
pardon?
Michelle?
Michelle.
I did it again.
You
Did it again, and I'm
Sorry, Michelle.
time.
I'm
And I'm back, so you can't say you didn't see her.
I'm sorry,
It's
Michelle.
okay. All I was gonna say was just remind people to go get your booster if you haven't already.
Sure you don't want to say anything
That's it.
else?
That was it. That's it.
I'll give you more time.
It's okay. I got it. That's all I need.
I apologize.
It's fine.
I'm used to,
Let him slide. Let him slide, Michelle. Let him
I'll
slide.
let him slide. I'll let him slide.
okay. Michelle let me slide, so. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we're adjourned. See you next Monday night.
Let him slide. Let him slide.